I'm Congressman John Mica. Every American who was alive on September 11th, 2001 has memories, and I think it's very important that each of us continue to hold those memories, particularly of those lost on that fateful day, in our hearts and minds. And I thought it would be important to take a few minutes and remember that day and some individuals who had a dramatic impact on my life. On September 11th, the morning of September 11th, I was invited by the Secretary of Defense at that time, Donald Rumsfeld, to participate in a roundtable discussion in his office in the Pentagon, a breakfast meeting. Just as we finished the meeting about 9 o'clock, being the chair of the Aviation Subcommittee, I received a call on my cell phone and was informed that a plane had hit the World Trade Center. My staff director had informed me, and I thought, what a horrible accident. Actually started our air traffic control system as a result of a plane hitting the Empire State Building, and I thought that just couldn't happen. And then just a few minutes later, we were informed of the second plane hitting. When the plane hit the World Trade Center, the second one realized it was a terrorist attack. Secretary Rumsfeld was excused, and I was left in discussion after our meeting with some of my friends from the administration. I remembered not more than a month and a half before, I had conducted as chairman of aviation hearings in the World Trade Center. That was actually center of New York Port Authority over all the airports and other transportation in metropolitan New York. I'd been invited to do that hearing by a good friend, Neil Levin, who, when I was chief of staff for Senator Hawkins, he was the legislative director for Senator Al D'Amato from New York. So I went up and conducted a hearing in the World Trade Center, had colleagues there. After the hearing, I was invited to lunch at the Windows of the World, a little conference room off of the restaurant. Neil Levin hosted me for lunch that day, along with my wife and several other members who had come up for the hearing. That was the last time I saw Neil Levin. On September 11th, Neil Levin was at a breakfast meeting in the World Trade Center in that same room, along with everyone who'd helped me on the hearing. Every one of those people, unfortunately, were killed, all except for one individual, the airport director who had been at a conference in Montreal. After 9/11, some of the Port Authority members who I had helped counsel, my wife had helped victims of 9/11, came to New York, and they also presented me with this little piece of marble from the lobby of the World Trade Center with a little inscription here. A very tough memory for me, remembering Neil Levin. On that fateful day again, having left the Pentagon just a few minutes before the plane hit, I came back to my office in the Capitol and saw the clouds coming up from where the plane had hit the Pentagon. And on that plane was Barbara Olson, who worked for me in the Government Reform Committee, a very dear friend and an incredibly capable professional. And then also in the Pentagon that day was Terry Lynch, a close friend and aide. He was an aide to Senator Shelby, another good friend. So on September 11th, I always remember those individuals. I particularly remember the occasion of being with Secretary Rumsfeld several years after 9/11. He presented the half a dozen members who were with him that morning with this little medal. It's the Global War on Terrorism medal. We had survived with him that morning, 9/11. I recount these because I think it's important to honor the memory of those friends that we lost, and thousands of Americans and others grieve on those losses, but also to remember this day and recommit ourselves to keeping America safe and secure. This is Congressman John Mica conveying with you a little of my memories and remembering those who were lost on that fateful day. Thank you.